Good afternoon, Rotarians.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the, that's better, there we go, thank you. I was gonna say, I didn't know if my microphone was on. Welcome to the February 19th meeting of the Rotary Club of Des Moines. I'm your president, Tim Lilwitz. As always, we will thank our greeters, the dynamic duo of Brittany Freund and Kyle McCormick today. Thank you, Kyle. And then Randy Worth will be up here in a moment to share the moment of inspiration, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the four-way test. And as a brief reminder, if you want to greet or give the moment of inspiration, there is a sign-up sheet out by the badges, or just contact Kitty. So with that, Randy.
Thank you, President Tim. Quick reminder for those wheel person people, that Carl's Performance Open House is this Saturday. It's not a wheels event, so to speak. Just go enjoy, take your family, your friends. 8 to 2. It's interesting to see some of the stuff behind the scenes that they do there. And you may know Carl's estate sent 34 of his cars to an auction last month. Did well, but one of his award-winning cars is the 44 Deluxe Coupe, is still in the showroom out there on the sales floor. And as pretty as it is, it would look better with a pair of these.
I'm too young to know it.
Yeah, so those of us of a certain age remember these, and some of us won't admit it. We still see them displayed today, mostly on cars that were made in the 50s and 60s. But I want to get into the how and why they became a thing anyhow. And to find that answer, we have to revisit World War II. Not a pleasant revisit. And the life and times of a B-17 crew. I had a great uncle that served as a belly gunner on a B-17, and he said it was actually one of the safer places to be unless the landing gear didn't work. But our pilots and crews suffered heavy losses. And just in those crews, we lost 52,000 men. Size of Urbandale, different towns around Iowa. 10 to 20% of the planes that went out on any one mission didn't come back. And so if you were a crewman on a plane, you had a 1 in 5 chance of not making it, and you had to achieve that 1 in 5 chance over 25 missions to get to go home. There are a few of us in this room, myself doubly included, that have not had to endure the fear that those crews probably that they experienced. Was it anxiety? Was it fear? Was it, it's my job, here I go. And for those of you waiting to be inspired, pay attention. There's an acronym for fear. Face everything and rise. So whether it's, I'm afraid I'm going to be late for a meeting, I don't know how to do this, taking care of my aging parents, I don't know how to do this, that, or the other, or something life-threatening. That's what these crews, how they handled fear. Not to de-emphasize their fear, maybe to help take the edge off a little bit, pilots started hanging dice in the cockpits of the planes. And my uncle, great uncle, had a pair in his turret. And it was just a reminder that they were there for an important mission, that their job was important. And they always showed Lucky 7. The war went on, air support improved, pilots and crews started coming home. And my uncle was one of those, returned to his hometown, returned to his family home, lived out, got to live with his dad the rest of his life, got a job, worked road construction for the next 35 years, did woodworking during the winter, and helped ruin me by taking me rides in his 56 Mercury Montclair, 312 Thunderbird V8, 3-speed overdrive, do nothing for pipes. And of course it had dice. I was gone. Free enterprise enters the picture, and they become fuzzy because Angora sweaters were the thing. And here they are, they show up on those fine retail outlets like J.C. Whitney and Western Auto. But the dice meant different things to different people. Most of us, many of us, got them because our friends had them. The car club always showed them, regardless, whatever color they were, that meant you were with that car club. Law enforcement paid attention to them, thinking the driver of that car needs a little more scrutiny. They were not wrong, because most of the drivers that displayed them thought their car could beat you to the next stoplight. In California, given that it is given credit for the birthplace of hot rodding, they outlawed it. I don't understand that, but they were outlawed there in the middle 50s. But to my great uncle, and to the pilots and crews that were able to come home, the dice meant that they were and always would be battle ready. And now the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And before we test,
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
and meet and greet.
I don't want to tip your tripod. Randy.
Thank you, sir. Just go. Hey, Dave, how are you? I'm sure you're
Wow, that was a lot. Yeah, I read it.
All right, sir. Yeah, thanks for having me. Right. I think it's true. I got 8 inches in my home. Hey, Deborah. Yeah, I was right. Kyle, how are you? Dave Boozy, nice to see you. How you doing? Thank you. Did you?
Okay. Moving on with the rest of our program before we get to Kyle. We do have a couple of guests with us today. So guests, I will state your name and you can just remain standing real quick, and then we will greet you together. So first we have Rachel Edge, Head of Business Development for the Foster Group, and a guest of Christy Edwards. And then seated next to Rachel, we have David Lewis, co-founder and CEO of Firefly Building Performance, a guest of Susan Judkins. So welcome, guests. Appreciate it. Don't forget, to vote for your favorite puppy Jake name. Kitty has the bins out by, or the baskets, whatever we call them, out by the name badges. But right, we have the names RC, Benny, Sass, and Harris, all Rotary themed names, and a $5 vote in one of those buckets will go towards naming the puppy and support our Rotary Club of Des Moines Foundation. So thanks to you again that came up with those great names, and thanks to all who have voted already. I think we raised well over $100 last week, and so we'll keep it open again this week and next, and we'll do some good for the foundation. So I'm told that Benny is in the lead right now, right, with RC a close second, and then Harris. So if you're inclined to vote for one of those names, please do. All right. Where in the World is back this week for our guests and others in attendance that don't know. The club, the Rotary Club Des Moines, is the 27th Rotary Club founded in the world of over 36,000 Rotary clubs. So where in the world is Club 27? We have our own Bob Vedral in San Diego for the World Chair Vistage Conference. Thanks for sending that in, Bob. And then next we have our treasurer, Kyle McCormick, and family on a Disney cruise to the Bahamas. And I told Kyle I will be checking the Rotary Club ledger to make sure there are no charges to make sure that was all properly accounted for. And then, speaking of Mickey Mouse behavior, our last photograph is from past President Doug Saltzgaver again. He's back in Florida with looks like alligators. Is that what that is, Doug?
Yes.
And manatees.
They taste
Um,
like chicken.
They taste like chicken.
Manatees.
I'm sure the animals were glad to see you, Doug. Congratulations on those 2 basketball runs for your see, I can give you credit where it's due. All right, moving on. We have a couple transitions. I did want to talk about something that I think is very important. So on your tables, you will see a flyer. It's something personal to one of our Rotary Club families last year. At the age of just 3 years old, Brittany and Patrick Freund's daughter, Liv, was diagnosed with high-risk B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And what began as a mild illness quickly became hospital stays, procedures, blood transfusions, chemotherapy, immunotherapy, and a treatment plan that will last approximately 2.5 years. So each year in the United States, more than 15,000 children are diagnosed with cancer, and nearly 2,000 still lose their lives to that disease. So in honor of Liv turning 4 this April, and Liv is doing great, right, Brittany? She is. Brittany and Patrick do what Rotarians do, right? They stay true to the good, and they have launched a fundraiser benefiting the Unravel Pediatric Cancer to support continued pediatric cancer research. So if you feel moved to support, please do so. You will find the QR code and the flyer on your tables. That flyer has been sponsored, as we always do, with the $50 donation to our Rotary Club of Des Moines Foundation. And thank you for standing with one of our Rotary families, and Brittany and her husband, and giving children like Liv a brighter future. So thank you for that update, Brittany. Now, before we get to Kyle, we have Rotary Law and Disorders back this week because we didn't have time for it last week. For those of you in attendance that are guests, Rotary Law and Disorder is my feeble attempt every week to make fun of my chosen profession and provide some humor with a lawsuit or a judge's ruling or something of that nature. So this week we have more of a visual aid. It's going to be impossible for any of you guys to read from there, so I have a copy here that I'll read to you. But this was a case, innocent enough case, actually I don't even know what it was regarding, probably some financial issue, but down in Kentucky from 2011, and it was a situation where trial was set for July 13th of 2011, and anyone that does litigation knows that deadlines spur action, and most notably trials are usually settled on the eve of trial, often with many motions pending before the court. And most of the time the judges don't care whether trial commences or goes through or not, because that's what judges do, right? They sit and preside over the trial. Apparently this judge, it's Judge, I forgot the name, Judge Martin Sheehan, in the Kenton Circuit down in Kentucky, was very excited that this trial apparently had settled, because the first paragraphs, which again you can't read there, are the traditional herein having been notified the court that the trial settled, the trial's canceled. The third paragraph, however, states this: as such news of an amicable settlement having made this court happier than a tick on a fat dog, because it otherwise is busier than a one-legged cat in a sandbox, and quite frankly would have rather jumped naked off a 12-foot stepladder and into a 5-gallon bucket of porcupines than have presided over a 2-week trial of the herein dispute. A trial which no doubt would have made the jury more confused than a hungry baby in a topless bar. And that was my favorite, by the way. And made the parties and their attorneys madder than mosquitoes in a mannequin factory. It is therefore ordered and adjudged that the trial is hereby canceled. So, and then he goes on, and the second page, which isn't up there, to assign the clerk to engage the services of a structural engineer to ascertain if the return of this file to the clerk's office will exceed the maximum structural load of the floors of said office. So apparently there were quite a few motions and other things pending, but sometimes judges are just as happy as the lawyers when the case is settled. So you can use any one of those analogies in your future speak. Now, with all of that out of the way, we now have Bill Wright, who will be introducing our program today and moderating a conversation with our speakers. So, Bill and Kyle.
Fellow Rotarians, I am super excited, thrilled today to be introducing Kyle Gamble. Kyle was just recently named the President CEO of Hubble Realty Company, just a legacy Des Moines company. And I could go on and on about Kyle's resume and achievements. We got in the business at exactly the same year. And I could go on and on, but I'll skip a little bit of that because he's a humble man. But I will tell you, in 2014, Kyle recruited me to come over and be on his team at CBRE Hubble. Clearly, probably as I look back in my own career, probably the one that now means the most is getting that call. And this is a man of intense integrity. I served on his management team for many, many years, and I'm very pleased to have him here today. Thank you, Kevin, for suggesting it. And I know you'll enjoy. Now, to start things out, Kyle's sitting down right now. I don't think he's going to be sitting very long. He threw out his back. And I think maybe to start this out, maybe you could explain he's trying to keep up with a professional athlete and his family. So, Kyle, maybe you can explain what's going on with the back.
Well, first off, thank you for having me. This is an honor to be here. I see a lot of friendly faces in the audience, a lot of people that I've known for decades, and I have a classmate that I graduated with in 1988 from Roosevelt. Ganesh is around here somewhere. I mean, this goes back a long time, and there's a lot of friends in here that are not only friends with me, but also friends with my family. So it's an honor to be here. Yeah, I'm having some back problems. I was in Florida last week. I have a son that was just recently drafted into the Major League Baseball for the Kansas City Royals, and I had been playing baseball with him for decades. And he is on a plane right now headed to spring training, and he he's been off-season training in Florida, getting ready for the season, and he asked me to go and throw some balls with him. So I went and threw some balls with him last weekend, an hour and a half on the field. Saturday, woke up Sunday and could barely walk. So I'm coming back around, but that I can no longer do what I used to do. And he made fun of me for walking around in Florida for a day and a half, limping around. That's what growing does.
Could be too much desk time.
Too much desktop.
That's right. Kyle, to lead off, Hubble is just a legacy Des Moines company, and can you speak to its rich history in the Des Moines community and how Hubble has changed over the 32 years you've worked there?
Sure, it's changed immensely. I have a quick trivia question. Is there anyone in the audience today that could name the date, the year of the first Hubble real estate transaction?
I heard 1872.
Very close. Yes, sir.
1887.
1887. One more pick. 1856.
Wow.
170 years old this year. So that no pressure for me at all. No, but it has been a joy of mine to work for the Hubble family. The Hubble is owned by the Hubble family, which consists of about 74 shareholders. We have 17 board members, of which 11 are family members. And the real gift is that they enjoy not only the investment in projects in our marketplace, but they also want to give back to the community. One of our missions is to enrich the quality of life in our communities that we work in. And Hubble wants to see us participate not only in the transactions, but also in the community. We do not want to be perceived as just takers of the market. We want to give back. And that is a constant theme throughout our organization, and it is a strong theme of mine with my leadership team. And Hubble is very much behind us in that. So they will put their money where their mouth is, and they will enrich the quality of life in this market.
Kyle, Hubble is a vertically integrated company with 18 corporate divisions. You started as a commercial real estate broker in 1994. Now you are president and CEO. What are the challenges in managing 18 business segments, and how do you effectively provide management and leadership to your team?
Well, I want to start off on answering that question. There's really four things that I look at when making real estate decisions and making decisions on projects. The first on real estate is location. That's pretty self-explanatory. The second is rate. We spend a great deal of time underwriting projects, underwriting decisions. Rate could be anything from internal rate of return, interest rate, lease rate, for example, sale price. Location rate and timing is the third. Timing is very important. Is infrastructure in place? Are there incentives? Are the demographic conditions in the right position to receive the property? Is the marketplace moving in that direction from a feasibility standpoint? Are the municipalities behind it? So location, rate, and timing. But the last thing is the most important by far and optimizes everything that we do, and that's people. So I spend a great deal amount of my time working with our team directly to help motivate them, to educate them, to ask questions, to facilitate their expertise into the work that we do. We operate under the EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. I would classify it as kind of a modified system. We do level 10s, we do quarterly pulses, we do vision traction organizer, and I have to do that in order to keep track of everything that we're doing across multiple markets and across multiple sectors that we're in. So we practice in multifamily, industrial, home building, land development, and we have businesses that serve all of those different sectors. And the biggest challenge that I have is not only working with my team and moving our team forward on all the projects that we're doing, but also keeping track of all of those markets and all of those sectors and business lines. it is not easy to do to move from an industrial project in Omaha to a multifamily project in Des Moines to a senior living project in Des Moines to home building in Omaha. We move around a lot. And real estate is quite local and quite specialized, and you have to stay on top of it on a day-to-day basis in order to be effective.
Kyle, you just spoke to it. Hubble is just not active in the Des Moines marketplace. You mentioned Omaha. Can you speak to where Hubble now operates, and even more so, what has attracted you to expand outside of central Iowa? I mean, initially all the roots were here, and now there's tentacles throughout the Midwest.
We have a lot of eggs in the Des Moines, Iowa basket. A lot of eggs in the central Iowa region, which has been great. This is an amazing market to do business in. There's so many qualities that attract investment into Des Moines. We can talk about those here in a minute. But we knew that our investors wanted to expand. So in 2019, we purchased a home building and land development company in Omaha, Nebraska, called the Home Company and the Land Company. I know that those names are not incredibly unique, but they're very effective. And the Home Company has become the third largest home builder in the marketplace. In 2025, they closed about 175 homes. Average home price is about $450, so that's about $80 million worth of volume. In addition, we do land development, not only for the Home Company to build homes on, but also third parties. So in 2025, about 250 lots were sold, and we do that kind of every year consistently. Omaha has a lot of the same qualities as Des Moines. Quality of life is strong, very low friction, ability to get things done, pretty decent job growth. So from that standpoint, it mirrored Des Moines, and we wanted to expand our development reach in Omaha, do industrial, do multifamily. We felt the best way to do that was with local team, and the best way to do that quickly was to acquire. And so the tip of the spear for us was a home building business, land development business in 2019. And today we're doing some of our largest projects that we've done in the history of the company in Omaha. We're doing a $55 million apartment project called Sagebrook. We're an infill location in La Vista, Nebraska, which is just a small bedroom community of Omaha. In 2022, we bought a very unique parcel, about 155 acres of industrial ground that's kind of in the midst, in the center of the data center world in Omaha. Now, all the power has been taken up by the data centers for 10 years out in the future, so we're not building data centers on that site, but we are supplying distribution and warehouse space for the data center users, and that's been a great business for us. And we're building 2 right now, and we'll probably end up building between 8 and 10 buildings at that site.
Let's bring it back to Des Moines. It appears that Hubble has really prioritized development in downtown Des Moines. I would say, probably no doubt, no one would argue that Hubble has built more multifamily residential apartment and condo projects downtown than any other developer. I also know personally you're just a champion for leading for downtown Des Moines with the Des Moines Partnership. Can you, I think everyone's interested, I think if you read the papers, there's a lot of supply coming on market, and I guess maybe can you speak to the current dynamics of developing downtown Des Moines, and also can you look in the future and what do you see happening in the next 5 years?
Oh, you're right. We have been very bullish on downtown Des Moines and very bullish on central Iowa, and there are reasons for that. You have tremendous amount of population growth in central Iowa, leads the Midwest. You have significant amount of job growth in central Iowa, leads the Midwest, and we have been, the Greater Des Moines Partnership along with myself have been no short of being a champion for all of that growth. Well, with that growth, we get the attention of developers from all over the country. And we are we have seen those developers come into this market as well and do industrial, do multifamily, and it, from a fundamentals standpoint, on paper, Des Moines makes a lot of sense. It has an historic track record that's very strong, Well, what we have today is a hyper supply of multifamily and a hyper supply of industrial. And that is a cyclical issue. It's not a secular issue. It will move through, it will be absorbed. But today we are in a cycle of to be determined if it's oversupplied. I'm pretty sure it's going to be, because I lived through 2015, 16, and 17 when we saw a glut of apartments. This is even more than that. So we'll have a hyper supply situation for multifamily in the metro, in downtown Des Moines, but it'll cycle through and even out. And we will continue to develop. We're part of the problem. I mean, we're developing as well. We have projects under construction in downtown Des Moines. We have 45 acres of mixed use and master plan community called Gray Station. We're going to continue to build that out. We have 4 multifamily projects under construction. Downtown's one, Norwalk is one, Ankeny is one, and West Des Moines is one. So we're going to continue to deliver. Our mindset is very long-term in nature. So our investors are 10-year holds. We go through cycles. We understand how those work. We're not a transactional one-year flip type business. We build stress tests into our transactions and understand that there's going to be market cycles. Industrial is the same way. And you know this very well. Industrial is, we're at the crossroads of the Midwest, and we have 3 million square feet on the market that's modern distribution space. If I'm a 100,000 square foot tenant today, I can go look at 13 buildings to lease.
Your development team tells me all the time that the rents are a little stronger in the Omaha market, which makes it right now, we have oversupply in Des Moines and the rents are stronger in Omaha.
Yeah, it's just, as I mentioned, real estate is local. And industrial, for example, here, as I mentioned, there's 3.5 to 4 million square feet of modern bulk warehouse space that's been on the market for 2 to 3 years. And if there's an industrial user out there, they have ample choice, and that's going to put downward pressure on rents. In Omaha, it's 98% occupied, so it's a green light deal there. Rents are growing, demand is up, and we're going to continue to feed into that market because there's a predictability there and there's demand.
Kyle,
But having said that, in Des Moines, I remain bullish on that. 3 million square feet absorption of modern bulk warehouses, it will occur. It's just going to take 2 to 3 years. We have 4 or 5 sites in Ankeny that we'll develop on as soon as the market tells us that it's ready for development.
Kyle, I was talking to our leader of capital markets for multifamily yesterday, and he said there's 1,100 apartment units under construction in downtown Des Moines. So kind of back to downtown, when you think about that 5-year question, I mean, I know you don't have a crystal ball, none of us do, but what does it take for, that seems like a lot of apartments delivering in downtown Des Moines. How long is that going to take to absorb?
Well, let me back up on the apartments just real quick before getting specifically into that. What I look at when I look at downtown Des Moines is I look at what's happening from a quality of life standpoint, what's happening from a job growth standpoint. Why is the value proposition so strong to justify building 1,000 units in a 4-block radius in downtown? Well, right now, as we speak, American Equity is moving into the Nationwide building, former Nationwide building. They're going to bring, on day one, they're going to have 700 to 800 associates full-time in that building. That's an injection of population into downtown. We're going to build a soccer stadium. It's going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to be a catalyst, a multiplier, an economic development multiplier for the entire region, but it's just going to be a gravitational force to downtown Des Moines. Yes, there's 1,000 units being developed. That is an investment. That tells me that the marketplace is looking at Des Moines saying, this is a great place to be. It's going to be difficult through the absorption cycle, and I hope some of the players have a lot of equity in this deal and be able to withstand it, because we need them to be successful. The last thing I want to see is a failed multifamily project in downtown Des Moines that's the bank gets back and drops the rents a third. That doesn't help anyone. So we want all of these projects to be successful. It's going to take 2-3 years, maybe even 4 years. But if we continue with the job growth, or at least the job stability in downtown Des Moines, and keep investing in quality of life projects, employers are going to want to continue to come here. They're going to want to continue to grow here, to make investment here, and it is a multiplier effect. So I remain bullish on it because you can get things done in Des Moines, in downtown Des Moines, and in the region. So we will work through that supply.
Right now, Hubble primarily focuses on single-family housing, multifamily housing, industrial development, although the company has developed and has roots in office and retail over its history. So, there's not too many segments that Hubble hasn't touched over its 170-year history. As you think about today's commercial real estate marketplace and going forward, where are there going to be opportunities for developers like Hubble? And also, where are the challenges?
Well, we are thinking today, just because we're focused on multifamily and industrial, and we're in the Omaha and Des Moines markets. Today, we are wanting to do a project in Oskaloosa, for example. We formed a relationship with Musco Lighting. It's a growing company. It's a growing rural community. We want to do 50 rental townhomes that are attainable by that workforce in that marketplace. We think there's 6 or 7 Oskaloosa examples across the state where we can deliver high quality homes for people to stay in those rural marketplaces, and the employers want to see that occur. They want to see that investment, and Oskaloosa is a first example, and we're getting calls from similar sized cities to Oskaloosa to do projects like that. The other is there's unique things more niche things taking place in the marketplace. For example, high levels of construction material where developers, contractors need outside bulk industrial storage. Now that is not something I would ever think would occur, but from a logistics standpoint, and from a just-in-time construction standpoint, especially for the data center market, we're seeing the opportunity for industrial outside storage, which is unique. We have a master plan community in downtown Des Moines called Gray Station. We're going to continue to work through that. That's probably going to take a wide variety of product types, from condominiums to vertical apartments to townhomes. We're going to have to be very thoughtful in the type of units that we design. And in Omaha, for example, we're doing what's called a cottage neighborhood. So we're building a very dense location in a really well-located project around support retail that the homes are priced between $270 and $310. So very attainable homes, very small, 700 to 1,200 square feet, but attainable in a really, really strong location. And the municipality that we're building in loves it. They want to see that type of product. It's totally unique to that marketplace where the homes are priced between $475 and up to $775. This will be a totally niche project. So niche in certain circumstances is where we have to play as we work through the cycle.
Kyle, as you think about, you spoke a lot about Des Moines and how important it is to Hubble. As you think about the Des Moines area and how it continues to develop, it now approaches 1 million people in population. What are your personal wishes for Des Moines? What are the things you're looking for?
Yeah.
Well, what I would encourage you to do this summer is come downtown on a Saturday, especially when it's a beautiful day, and go to the farmer's market and stick around in downtown, maybe take in a concert that night or a Cubs game, or hopefully one of these years a soccer game. The vibrancy that is taking place in this marketplace is unmatched. And we are not Nashville, we are not Austin, we're not even Kansas City, but we have a quality of life here that has very little friction, low cost, and you can get things done. And you can have a family, you can drive from point A to point B. You can be on a trail system that is unmatched in the world. And I just think that the value proposition that downtown offers is into the future going to be very difficult to compete with. So we're going to continue to invest in that. We're doing a water trails project on the Raccoon River, just off of Gray's Station or Gray's Lake. We just invested in the spray park that's under construction in Gray's Lake. Those are just two examples in downtown Des Moines. We just made a huge investment in the Botanical Center. So we're heavily invested because we think there's going to be a return.
Okay, you're at Rotary, service organization, so I need to ask, what type of not-for-profit organizations are close to your heart personally and to Hubble's, and what opportunities have you taken to give back as service to your community?
Sure, that's a good question. Pre-kids, I spent 10 years with the American Heart Association, 10 years with Variety Club, 10 years with Des Moines Pastoral Counseling Center. Then I was a coach for a lot of years with my children. They're gone now. Today I'm back into Icon Water Trails. I think that opportunity has a tremendous return on investment because I believe that the economic benefits from using our water trails is going to be strong. And then I'm getting into the business side of things. So Greater Des Moines Partnership on the executive committee, I run the downtown board, community foundation, and I will probably, and I'm open to other philanthropic endeavors. We do, some of you may have been aware that we do an extreme build about every 4 years. We've done 6 of them, and we are planning our 7th one right now, which will take place in 2028. Can't tell you who the charity is quite yet, but those are near and dear to our organization, and we feel that they have a tremendous long-term impact, not only on the marketplace, but the civic organization that we're involved in. And we're gonna do the next one in 2028. It's gonna be a nice project for Central Iowa.
My first one at Hubble was the Ronald McDonald House, and I think you built that building in a week.
Yeah. Ronald McDonald was done in a week. Anawim Housing, 9 homes for 9 days, was done in
Easter
7
Seals.
days. 2 Easter Seals projects.
Yeah, pretty
And
incredible.
On With Life was our last one. On With Life was 2 homes on the On With Life campus in Ankeny, 5 bedrooms. And the rationale behind our extreme builds is we want to see families, individuals benefit from these projects 50 years into the future. Day in, day out, they serve the community and provide help to the community. So On With Life is an example where the patient that's being served by On With Life, we were told that there's a 30% increase in their time to heal, improve, if the family members are closer to them while they're being serviced. And so these 5 homes on the campus, you have 5 families whose patient is being helped by On With Life. Well, their percentage chance of improving and getting home is 30% greater if the families are right next door. We extrapolate that scenario out for the next 50 years, and you're really doing some good. And that's the mindset that we have about doing these extreme projects. And we'll do one every 3 to 4 years.
So, Kyle, this has been wonderful. We were intentional, tried to keep the questions somewhat short so we could open up for Q&A. We have 5 minutes. If anyone's going, lots of hands going up. So, Kyle, you can do the picking.
6 or 7 minutes.
I was just wondering if Hubble is involved at all in the East Village area, especially the areas around the new Two Rivers Park, or what you're thinking about?
So one of the things that probably 2014, we acquired, some of you may remember River Hills Office Park that was owned by Principal Financial Group. And that is essentially today, to give you a geography, is right at the base on the east side of the Women of Achievement Bridge. So in the East Village, starting in about 2014, we developed the first multifamily building called Velocity. Our second one was called Verve. The third one is called Level. Level is right up against the interstate. And then we have the Bridge District, which are higher end townhomes. So that was our investment in the East Village to provide housing for areas that are walkable to the East Village. And since we still have more to do there, and we'll still build that out. But during the time of building apartments there, we bought Gray Station. So we're going to shift from Bridge District. Once we finish that, back over to the Gray Station. But yeah, East Village is a diamond in the rough. The other thing that I talk about when I talk about downtown Des Moines and being a positive place to invest is there's land. So the Market District, for example, that's a project that just come online. There's tremendous opportunity with the Market District. Yeah.
A few years back, the concept came up of agri parks moving into small towns near metropolitan areas to develop the outlying areas. Have you looked seriously at anything like that?
We've been watching the Agri-Hood that Steve Brewer has done. And actually, we just purchased we haven't purchased it, we have under contract about 150 acres just south of Veterans Parkway, north of where the Agri-Hood is and coming. I don't think we're going to do that style of development. We watch it. I think it's when you talk about a niche, it's a very unique neighborhood. But I think they have been very successful with it. But it is not something that's on our plans for the near term.
You just referred to the Market District, and I was thinking when you were talking about, kind of a slight oversaturation of multifamily and that it will absorb, but it's not there yet. Do you foresee, because I know it seems, at least from what I've heard, that a lot of the Market District is very focused on multifamily. Do you see some of that kind of, because I think it's an amazing area for development, but kind of being re-envisioned to not super oversaturate that market, or?
Yeah, it gets back to 4 things I was talking about earlier on. Timing is one of them. Timing is going to have to play out for large-scale multifamily development to make significant sense in this market. But there's always going to be competition. There's always going to be development. It's just when you have the hyper supply that we're experiencing now, it in my opinion, others may have a different opinion. In my opinion, this is probably a time to pause and allow the cycle to kind of work through, very similar to what we're doing with industrial. We have paused our industrial. We don't have any industrial in Des Moines. We've sold it. We're fortunate to lease most of it to Amazon and then sold it after that, but we have ample ground to start once the marketplace makes sense. Yeah.
Change the subject. Tell us about your son. I'm a baseball fan.
Yeah. He was drafted by the Kansas City Royals last year in July, first round, which is it was just an amazing year last year. Very interesting process. It's been a great fit. The Royals have been incredible to him. They're kind of Midwestern. Well, they are Midwestern, but they have that Midwestern feel to them. They have a plan for him, a development plan for him, which was very strong. And he's on plane right now to Phoenix to their spring training facility.
What position?
He's a unique player. He is one of the only players in their program right now that has the ability to play 2 positions. He played second base in high school, won 2 national championships with a team in Florida. In the summer, in summer ball, he played center field. And in Kansas City, during the summer in Phoenix, they played a game every day. He rotated between second and center in each game.
There are a lot of Cardinal fans here who still still wear the scars from 1985.
But he's getting on the track right now. I mean, he's probably going to be in low A here in April, and so it'll be interesting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
What do you do to develop your leadership skills?
That's a great question. Hang out with Bill. He and I share war stories on a regular basis. We talked about one this morning. I work with Adam Carroll quite a bit. I don't know if anyone knows Adam Carroll in this office. I've worked with Kevin on the leadership team building. We worked together all of last year. He and I worked personally on my leadership skills as well as our executive committee. So we have 6 people on our executive committee, and Kevin's program was helpful to us.
Great question.
Got time for one more if anyone's got one.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you feel the impact of a AI
facility would be, a positive or negative impact with the water use in mind?
Oh, you're talking about data centers, yeah.
Yeah.
The jury's still out on data centers, but what I can tell you is the technology, the use of water in more modern data center technology is decreasing every single day. It is becoming less and less of an impact because they're recycling the water so much, and the need for the amount of water is decreased tremendously. The HVAC program for a data center has been improved, and so it just simply doesn't require as much water. Your question about AI, though, in commercial real estate or in real estate in general, is a very, very interesting one, and it's something that we talk about and watch quite a bit. It will be transformative to the entire world, but I see it. It improves our management, our property management on a regular basis for us today. Data access is tremendous, but where I see several years into the future is the ability to improve construction quality. Very, very low defects with the use of AI. There's going to be robots, more machinery that's going to accelerate the construction timeframes, especially on industrial, and that is something to watch. And the cost of construction could come down over a long period of time as AI, robotics enter the construction industry. So I see it, if we're building a 300,000 square foot distribution center in Omaha, for example, and it takes 9 months to build, if I can shorten that to 7 months, that just makes the investment perform even better.
Kyle, this was wonderful. Please join me in thanking Kyle for his time today.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Turn that back on. All right. Thank you, Kyle. Glad you're back, held up.
Yes.
Appreciate it. We appreciate you spending time with us and sharing your insights. And Bill, thank you for that format. That's great. I think it works really well with people like Kyle. And we're grateful to Hubble and Kyle for their contributions to our community on an everyday basis. So quickly, as we do every week, a couple of reminders, upcoming speakers. Next week, February 26th, Noelle Nelson, the Executive Director of Avenue Scholars, a program here in Des Moines, will be presenting. And then March 5th, Ray Fiedler, Special Agent, Iowa Department of Public Safety, will be here to present on human trafficking. And then on March 12th, Marty Martin, the President of Drake University, will be here to tell us what's going on over on Forest Avenue. So, in addition to those great speakers, we have a couple of other ways that you can engage in fellowship outside of our Thursday lunches, and we just had a great turnout on Tuesday morning for our own David Oman, who did a great job at Fuel this week, told some great stories. March 10th, Dick Stauffer will be our featured Rotarian at Fuel, and then on Tuesday, May 5th, Jackie Norris will be presenting. A reminder, Fuels are held on 9 to 10 a.m. at Freedom Blend Coffee. The fellowship is free, but the coffee is on you. And then finally, we have another slide that we've been showing again, reminder of the upcoming fellowship events that Josh and his committee are doing a great job on. The dinner club coming up at Skeet's house, Bourbon Club, and then March we'll bring March Madness brackets, and then the Golf Fellowship is organizing for the warmer weather that was going to be here, but now we're going back to snow. So we'll wait on the Golf Fellowship for a little bit. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for being a vital part of the Rotary Club of Des Moines. Thank you to our guests for visiting. We appreciate that. Stay true to the good, and we are adjourned.